Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video without any interruptions, and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
I got it. I got a bunch of stuff too from the first. I got the first. Hey, let me see your hands. Put your hands up.
I don't know.
Put your hands up.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, I got someone. Hey, put your hands up.
I am here. My phone.
All right, put it on the ground.
Huh?
Lay down.
No.
Lay down on the. Hey, drop the gun!
No,
Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it! $115. I got shots fired. Suspect down.
All right, let's get into it. So you can hear his cell phone in the background. I don't like the ringtone turned on my phone for a couple reasons. One, I sort of have misophonia when it comes to the sound of the little text message ding, and even if I change the noise that it makes, I don't like a phone that makes a noise, and I don't like the ringtones either. Doesn't matter which ringtone it is. I don't like them. I don't prefer to have it on, and it's kind of interesting because when uh, as cell phones progressed in the early 2000s, um, you would see people downloading different ringtones and having more unique ringtones and whatnot. And it's just kind of funny, I think, that go from that progression to going to having a phone that has all kinds of different ringtones already native to it, but then you can choose literally any kind of audio that you want to be a ringtone, and have no interest in it anymore. I just rather it be on silent, and I prefer to have the vibrate turned off too. Like, I don't even like the phone sitting on the table and to hear it going brr, brr, like that. Just I don't know. I have no idea what it is, but it's almost like it's not completely like it, but it's kind of going in the same ball field as nails on a chalkboard. I just don't like it. And it's just me. It's just my phone. Like, I can hear other people's phones, and it's fine. It don't bother me. But if I've got my sound turned on my phone and I start getting a bunch of texts and it's ding, 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 oof, that starts getting on my nerves. The other reason why I don't have the sound on my phone is because I prefer that it not be able to make any sounds at any inopportune times. If I'm trying to hide and be quiet, Well, then I don't want my cell phone randomly ringing and giving away my exact position and where I'm at. But other people are different, and he happens to have his cell phone on. Now, obviously, him trumping around through these bushes, he's making noises, right? He's got his flashlight turned on. That's like a beacon, you know. His cell phone ringing right now, is that like going to be giving him away? No, he's already given himself away. Like the dude who's hiding already knows exactly where he's at. So this kind of context right here obviously doesn't matter, but if it's something else, trying to creep around in the dark through a building, something like that, keeping the white light off, and then boom, the cell phone goes off. Like it's up at that point. They know where you're at. So that's one reason why I keep the sound turned off on my phone. But really, the main reason is I just can't stand the sound of it anymore.
I got it. I got a bunch of stuff too from the first.
So he is using his right hand, which is obviously ends up being his dominant hand that he ends up shooting with. He is using this to manipulate his flashlight while he's going down into an area where a person could potentially be at. You don't want to take your fighting hand and occupy it with unnecessary things. That hand needs to be free to be able to go to the gun. Within context. I mean, obviously, writing a report, on the side of the road, using an ink pen, you're going to have to, like, sometimes have something in your dominant hand. And if you're writing a report, that's one thing. But if you're down here doing some searching stuff, that hand needs to be free. That hand needs to be ready to fight. It doesn't need to have a flashlight in it. So that flashlight should have been in his non-dominant hand.
I got the first. Hey, let me see your
So he had to do a transition and get his gun out.
hands. Put your hands up.
I don't know.
Put your hands up.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, I got someone. Hey, put.
So he gets on the radio and says he's got someone. If you notice the road up here, you'll see tail lights, and I'll back it up a little bit more so you can kind of pay attention to what's going on the road here. So pay attention to the headlights right there.
Hey, let me see your hands. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
So that's another unit right there that's passing by.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, I got someone. Hey, put your hands up.
So his lapel mic, I'm assuming, is up on his left shoulder area. And so that's why you see the light shift a little bit, and he's talking on it.
Put your hands up.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, I got someone. Hey, put your hands up.
This is why I always advocate having a lapel mic. There's been videos I've done before, primarily from New York and Los Angeles, where they seem to have like a disdain for lapel mics. And you will see in these videos, they have to take their radio off their pouch. And before they take the radio off their pouch, they have to disengage whatever retention strap's on there. They have to reach down, disengage the little snap, pull the radio up, start talking into it, and then something, boom, critical happens. I see a lot of videos where they have to end up shooting, and someone's having to shoot one-handed, holding a radio in the other hand. I've even seen a couple videos where officers were trying to put both hands together, and they got the radio in between. That doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. That screws up your grip. Lapel mics are a piece of life-saving equipment. They're critical pieces of equipment for communications. If you're working in public safety, whether you're police, fire, EMS, rescue, security, whatever, a lapel mic is 100% necessary. It is life-saving gear, life safety equipment. And this is a good example of why it's important to have a lapel mic. Although when he was having to key the radio up, his light was going slightly off, but he was able to maintain control over that flashlight, reach up to his shoulder area, press the button on the mic and talk, and then let go. Now imagine for a second if he had a radio mounted to his belt. Well, that would have been a lot more difficult for him to get that radio off his belt and bring it up and talk into it. Way more difficult.
My phone.
All right, put it on the ground.
Huh?
Lay down.
No.
Lay down on the... All right, put it... Oh, hey, I got someone. Hey, put your hand up.
My phone.
All right, put it on the ground.
Huh?
Lay down.
No.
Lay down on the... Hey, drop the gun! Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it!
Two things. First thing is he notices the gun, he tells him to drop it, and the guy says no, and then he tries to talk on the radio.
Gun! Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it!
No, that's wrong. It's fight time. This dude has produced a weapon. You need to be 100% committed to this fight. He took his light off the guy to be able to talk into the radio, and I believe that him performing some other task and not being fully committed to the fight, the bad guy recognized that and seized the opportunity to strike. The minute that gun came out, it's a fight. This dude ain't pulling his fucking gun out to show it off. Like, hey, bro, look at this gun I got. Ain't it cool? You want to buy it? That shit ain't happening. That dude pulled his gun out for a reason. He pulled it out to fight. Talking goes out the window at that point. His immediate response should have been to start shooting. Shoot to stop the threat. That's the biggest mistake in this video. One more time.
Drop the gun! Drop the... Hey, drop the gun! Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it! Hey, drop the gun! Hey, drop the...
So pay attention to here. It's hard to see once the light turns off.
Gun!
He's right here. When the lights drop, this guy actually gets up, and you can barely see him moving. When I first played it, I initially thought that this officer was just starting to fire blindly and was just popping rounds over here, because you can see rounds hit over here. But after watching it multiple times, you can tell this guy actually gets up and moves.
Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it!
So just pay attention to this line right here. I'll play it a few times, and you can actually see the movement of him.
Hey, drop the gun! Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it! gun!
No.
Hey, stop it!
He's actually now down here. One more time.
Hey, stop it! Hey, drop the gun! Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it!
He fires a bunch of rounds, fires the slide lock, and has to do a reload. Okay, so I said two things wrong.
Hey, drop the gun!
So the first thing wrong is this dude's gun came out. It's fight time, and he doesn't fight. He decides to start talking on the radio. And I've talked about the radio thing before, and I guess before I go into the second thing that I think was wrong, I'll touch briefly on the radio stuff. I understand communications are important. Typically, the forces that can shoot, move, and communicate the best are the ones who typically win. Communications help other people know what's going on to come to you. But there is a time to talk on the radio, and there is a time not to talk on the radio. And this moment right here is not a time to be talking on the radio. This is the time to be 100% committed to this fight. This dude pulled a gun out. It's fight time. Once you've neutralized the threat, once you have shot to stop the threat, and there's no more fighting to be had, then you can perform the other task of talking, communicating to someone else. So the second thing that I see wrong here, he does not have a weapon-mounted light.
Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop it!
Now, I would agree that it's good that he ditches this flashlight out of his hand to be able to go to a two-handed grip. A two-handed grip is going to allow you to have a better grip on your gun and increase your chances of being more accurate. There's enough ambient lighting here that I'm sure he was able to sight onto this guy. Maybe not the best, but obviously he was be able to sight some. He did shoot him. He missed him a bunch of times, but he did shoot him a couple times. But it makes it so much easier when you have a weapon-mounted light. So if this interaction first started and he noticed this dude was on the ground and he pulled his gun, he could have activated that weapon-mounted light, put that flashlight in his left hand away, and go to a two-handed grip and maintain that bright light on this guy and be able to see with extreme clarity exactly what he's doing, what's in his hands and what's not in his hands, and where his hands are at. It's even possible that if he would have had a weapon-mounted light and was able to keep his gun trained on this guy, with the light being bright and shining this dude's face, I think it's even conceivable that he could have reached up with his left hand and talked on the radio and not gave it away to this guy that he was performing another task and wasn't 100% in the game, 100% on focus. That's a slight possibility. I think this guy probably would have fought anyway. I think he was just going to try and shoot his way out of it, but it's a possibility. When the gunfight happened, I think he did the right thing. He dropped the unnecessary thing out of his hand, and he went to a two-handed grip and was able to shoot, put rounds on target. But it would have been a whole lot better if, from the beginning, he had a weapon-mounted light on this gun and had been able to maintain that two-handed grip this entire time. The minute that dude started to present himself to be a threat, he would have been able to start delivering accurate, incapacitating rounds on target. When he first started having to defend himself, he was having to do so from a one-handed grip. Your accuracy starts decreasing when you start going to a one-handed grip. It's always best to have a two-handed grip, and at nighttime, the best way to do that is to have a weapon-mounted light. All guns should have weapon-mounted lights. I'll say that again. All guns should have weapon-mounted lights. Even if you're a day shift person, you work during the day, your gun should still have a weapon-mounted light on it. Who's to say you won't go into a building that's large enough to go down hallways and go into rooms where there's no windows, there's no natural sunlight coming in to illuminate it? Go into a subterranean area, no sunlight getting down there. It's best to have a weapon-mounted light. So all guns need to have weapon-mounted lights. Now, obviously, agencies are poor. We all know this. Agencies just don't have a whole lot of funding. And in some areas, some agencies are unfortunate enough to have a bunch of stupid-ass woke people who want to defund them. So now, the agency that was already having a small budget and was struggling, now they're struggling even more because these idiots want to defund them. So now it's even harder for them to get the good life safety equipment. But for the ones who don't have a bunch of stupid woke-ass liberals, you're lucky. You're still poor, though. You have a small budget. You're fighting for more. Every agency is. I can't think of any agency that's like, yeah, we got enough money. I don't know if that exists. And so it can be hard for agencies to afford all this other stuff. There's some agencies that there's small agencies out there across this nation that officers have to buy their own equipment. There's cops out there who had to buy their own damn gun to go to work. There's some cops out there who had to buy their own bullet-resistant vest. The struggle is real in law enforcement and security. There's lots of security guys out there who've had to buy their own stuff. The company just didn't have the ability to give them everything. They may have only had bare minimum stuff to give them. That's a reality. And if you're in the situation where your department, your company has not provided to you a weapon-mounted light, you need to save up and get one. It is a life-saving piece of equipment. You have to have one. If that means that you have to go a few weeks without eating out, not going to McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever, and you got to make some sandwiches at home that you bought from the grocery store, and that's what you got to eat for a couple of weeks, then damn it, eat those ham sandwiches. Save that money, get that life safety equipment.
Drop the gun! Drop the fucking gun!
No.
Hey, stop me!
He does a pretty quick reload there. I like that. It was pretty flawless. Now, a backup light. 2 is 1, 1 is none. You should always have a backup light on you. Even if you have a weapon-mounted light and a patrol light, you still need a backup light. So my setup, my Glock's got the Surefire X300. I got a Streamlight as my patrol light. And then I have a Surefire P2X Fury on my belt. And that P2X Fury is for fighting purposes only. It's not for searching stuff. It's not for, looking under things and using it to illuminate the trunk and, look up under seats and stuff like that. It's not used for utility purposes. Its sole purpose is to fight with. That's that light's only purpose. And it is a backup in case my weapon-mounted light goes down. Whether the light itself takes around and destroys the light, I screwed up and didn't change batteries out and my damn flashlight dies, whatever. That Surefire P2X Fury is a backup to my weapon-mounted light. It is for fighting purposes. You should have a fighting light as well. If he had had a fighting light available to him, he would have been able to get it and illuminate target. Even though he's got this one over here, he can leave that over there. But he could have gone to his fighting light, got it out, and start illuminating this target. And then identify whether or not he still has a gun or not. And aid him in having to shoot some more if he has to shoot some more.
115. I got shots fired. Suspect down.
Not much else to say about this video. It's a pretty short video, but it had some pretty good learning moments in it. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.